Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. So, I am coming to you guys because I just seen a story um, in the headlines concerning R. Kelly. Now, he's back in the headlines, and as I'm sure many of you have probably already heard or saw, um, there is a young girl's family. The girl is 21 years old. Her family, their last name is Savages. Their last name is Savage. Her father, her mother, and sister, and apparently another young lady that used to be a part of what they're calling a cult. So they had a press conference that TMZ, I guess, covered, and they are making allegations against R. Kelly for basically kidnapping their daughter and holding her hostage in some type of sex slave cult. Now that those are allegations. None of that has been proven. Uh, they haven't even went to court yet. I don't even know if charges have been filed. But he is in the news again, and I definitely thought that this would be a really good opportunity to address a major problem that we have within the Black community concerning our children. Okay, this is a great time to address some issues that we have going on. Um, you know, there are some people who will put dollar amounts and dollar signs on their kids. And when I say dollar signs and dollar amounts, I mean they will allow their kids to go and do certain things, play with certain people, put their kids in harm's way, if you will, for a dollar. Okay, these are people who walk around trying to seek uh, money. I mean, their kids. They look at their kids as dollar signs, and it's unfortunate. But this is definitely something that is really plaguing the Black community. I'm sure there are many other communities, but you guys know that on this channel, I mainly address things that have to do with the African American community because that's the community in which I belong to, and that is the community in which I identify with, not just by looks, but by blood. I'm Black, I'm African, I love to be Black, I'm love to be African, but there are many, many issues that we have to address and we have to talk about and put into perspective. You know, I sometimes see how some parents will, whether it be child support, where you have a female who is using their child or children as leverage, basically using the kids to say, okay, how much money you gonna give me? You have a lot of that going on. You have, people who pimp their kids, whether it be them putting their kids in certain sports at extremely young ages and working them. And and again, I have no issue with, you see your kid is obviously skilled in whatever they're skilled in, whether that be music, sport, whatever. That's not the problem. The problem is when parents see dollar signs. It's like the kids, the only value that they have is a dollar. Instead of looking at your kids and saying, okay, well, I want to help this child. I want to make sure that this child has everything that they need. Many don't look at it like that. Many look at it like, okay, well, I had this kid. Maybe it was a mistake. I really wasn't trying to have this kid, because in most cases, let's just be honest. I think I read an article one time where it said like close to 90 something percent of people are not waiting until marriage. Okay. And so we know that there are a high percentage of people who are already having sex, laying up with each other, and having kids. So many kids are unplanned. Very few are planned. So that's number one. But you have people out here who are having kids and then saying, okay, well, now that I have the kid or the child, what could they do for me? It's sick. It's sick. It's sick. Because once you have kids, it's not what they can do for you, it's what you can do for them. It's what the parent can do for the kids. Every time I look up, I hear cases in the news where somebody has gotten a divorce and they're using the kids to get as much money out of somebody as possible. I mean, ridiculous amount of payouts monthly. Now, of course, everybody in a divorce or whatever kind of situation, I'm sure the two parties share their responsibility in what went wrong. But as it relates to the kid, you should never leverage your kid as they like a dollar bill. Yes, you want the person who helped you make them take care of their kids, absolutely. But to strictly and solely and evilly, which is not a word, I just made it up, and be evil to take the kid and use the kid, knowing damn well that you don't give a damn about the kid. Because if you did, you would see for what's in the kid's best interest and not for how much money you can get out of the kid. And then take the kid and drop the kid off at your mama house or your grandmama house or your auntie or whoever else, and they watch the kid all day, but you bringing in all the money. And this goes for male and female. I'm not just, because I know it may sound like I'm strictly speaking about females. No, this goes for whoever does this. Now, why am I bringing this up in the case with R. Kelly? I'm bringing it up because allegedly, uh, the parents met R. Kelly at a concert. They took their daughter to a concert when she was like 19 or something like that. And they met R. Kelly. They sat down and spoke with R. Kelly. They had a talk with R. Kelly for a couple of hours, supposedly, allegedly. And out of that conversation, I'm assuming grew some type of a friendship where R. Kelly was like, hey, I can help your daughter. She wants to sing. She wants to do whatever, whatever, whatever. Now, mind you, I find it quite funny how now, a couple of years later, after they didn't sent their daughter off, they didn't allow their daughter to spend time with R. Kelly, and so on and so forth. After all this time, now they want to say, oh, well, he's a monster. You knew what he was before you sent your daughter to him. You knew that. They knew that. Everybody knew that. Everybody knew about the allegations. They even said it in the conference that they had, not conference, but the when they came out and spoke to everybody about these allegations, they said that. So to know all of what everyone knows that he has been alleged for and have settled out of court for, and I mean there's just several it's just so much stuff against this man where I mean you can't deny that this man has some serious problems and some serious issues with pedophilia and messing with young girls. Serious issues. And knowing that you have some parents who sent their kids off, and she was not a child. Let me clarify that. They sent their young daughter, 19, I believe she was at the time when she first met R. Kelly. And now she's 21. They sent her at 19 to work with R. Kelly. And now they want to claim that, oh, I can't believe this, and oh, he's doing this and he's doing, and you know what? I do not put any of that past him. I absolutely do not. I absolutely do not. I do not put any of what has been claimed about this man past him. Not one drop. So I am going to play, there are two videos. I'm going to play them both. And I'm going to chime in as needed. And if I just want to say this, if you hadn't already hit the subscribe button, please go ahead and do that. I really appreciate it. And I will start trying to bring you guys more and more videos. My schedule is so tight. So, but I would do better about bringing you guys more and more videos. But here goes the first clip that I'm going to play. And this is the woman. Her name is Jocelyn Savage. This is her name. Her name is Jocelyn Savage. Her family, the Savages, her father, her mother, she's got sisters, and they're claiming that R. Kelly, they are alleging that R. Kelly is holding her captive, and he has her in some type of some sex slave cult. And they also have a young lady who apparently used to be in the same cult, or in the same, allegedly. So let me play this video so you guys can see what she said. Now I will describe her body language. I will also describe, what is around her. If you want, you can look up this video. I know TMZ posted the video on their Facebook page, and others posted it as well. So you can look up the video so that you have your own, you can see the video for yourself, but I will do my best to describe it. I did attempt to get it so that I could show it on here, but I was unable to do so, so it's fine. So here goes. This is the video. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Okay, guys, I'm loading it up.
I'm 21. I'm about to be 22 in about 5 days, and I just mainly want to say that I'm in a happy place with my life, and I'm not being brainwashed or anything like that. It just came to a point where it definitely has gotten out of hand. So, I just want everybody to know, my parents and everybody in the world, that I am totally fine. I'm happy where I'm at, and everything is okay with me.
Now, I just want to comment. Now, clearly, she sounds like a young girl. Clearly, physically, from what I can see, because the way that she has her camera set up, you can only see her from a little bit above the waist up. So that's how they have the camera set up. It looks like she's sitting in a room against a window, because it looks like curtains are there, and the camera seems to be kind of, the room is dim, so it's not a lot of lighting. Beautiful girl, from what I can see in this video. Beautiful girl. Obviously she says she's 21. She'll be 22 shortly, and so she's a young girl, young lady. Okay, so but I just wanted to chime in on that.
You are not being held against your will or doing anything that you do not want to do.
Oh, no, not at all. I've never been feeling hostage or anything like that in that nature. Never.
So why is it now that your family's coming forward and saying this, and they've asked for a welfare check and everything like that? Why do you think now?
I personally, I don't really know what's going on with that, so I wouldn't want to answer that at this moment.
Now, I want to say this. Clearly, this young lady has been coached, clearly. Now, whether she's been coached by R. Kelly and his team, or whoever, she has been coached. Because as the interview will roll on, you will begin to see she doesn't want to answer any questions. Now, and some of the questions are easy, straightforward. I'm gonna let you guys be the judge of that as I continue the video. But she's, she doesn't want to answer any questions. Now, in terms of her parents, it sounds like her parents reached out to R. Kelly. Mind you, this girl has been in dealings with R. Kelly since she was 19. That's 2 years. She'll be 22, like she said, in 5 days. So going on probably between 2 and 3 years, she's been dealing with R. Kelly. She's been around him, staying with him, possibly. I don't know the intricate details of that particular situation, but it's clearly she's been knowing him, in contact with him for some years. Okay. And the parents, it sounds like the parents reached out to R. Kelly for some money. They want him to send them some money, and he probably was like, no. Okay. Or maybe they asked her to see if she can get some money from him, and she probably couldn't. I don't know. But to wait that long, and then you want to reach out and say, okay, now I want a welfare check. Now that may be wordplay with the guy that's doing the interview, because I mean, you can't get a welfare check on a grown person. Okay, you can't do that. You can't get that. You just can't do that. So that's the wrong wording on his part. But apparently, from what we are understanding, is that the parents reached out to R. Kelly for some type of compensation. Now it sounds like, you know what, she with you, and since she with you, and Lord only knows what you're doing with her, but that's cool. We want some money. Now you know how sick you gotta be. You know how sick you have to be to, after however many years, reach out to the man who you claim for years, and who they claim everybody's known for years that R. Kelly has had a problem and whatever, but yet you allow your daughter to go and be around him. Now, some may argue, oh, well, she's grown, she can do what she wants. Well, before she met R. Kelly, I'm sure her parents at that time had some type of influence. And you can't, never game up your kids and make sure they know the game. You can't just, send them out there as blank slates, because when you do that, somebody else is going to game them up. And that game that somebody else is going to give them or spit to them may not be the type of game you like or want. But had they influenced her before, it might have been a chance where she may have not, gone so with him, or they sent her with him. But either way, they're asking him for compensation. So use my young daughter however you need to. Just give us some money, is what it sounds like. Now, I could be wrong. This is just my analysis from what we know now, from the 2 interviews that we're going to go over right now. This is my analysis. Like I said, these are allegations. I will continue to say that these are allegations. I want to be very clear. These are allegations that have been made against R. Kelly. I don't even think charges have been filed yet. So this is strictly allegations. But I want you guys to be the judge, because you are hearing this. You're hearing this young lady speak, and you are hearing what she's saying, and it's just not lining up. She can't answer no questions. She don't know the questions, easy questions. And it just sounds like she's been coached before she decided to take this interview. And again, I personally believe that there is an element of some for real devious behavior on the part of R. Kelly and whoever his team is on this young lady and other young ladies because of his background. So he does not get a pass at all. Nobody is getting a pass because they need to take that responsibility. You can't send your daughter off and then a couple of years later ask for a check and then they say no and now you mad. Now you mad. You didn't try to pimp out your daughter. It didn't work and now you mad. Now again, we haven't heard all the details, but from what I've seen in these videos, these 2 different videos that we're gonna watch, this is what I take. So let me continue.
I spoke to my parents, may have been about a good on and off for about 6-5 months. I haven't really spoken to them because of everything they've been causing problems in my life about saying I've been hostage and being held against my will and stuff like that. Because I'm very heartbroken of what's going on with this situation because it's getting to a point where it's getting too much out of hand. You know, me having to deal with this and me being 22 is just, you know, it's just not right. So I haven't spoken to them mainly in about 5 to 6 months, really. Okay. On and off. Okay. I mean, they'll, you know, text me from time to time, but I haven't really wanted to speak to them because of what they're doing.
Are you currently in Georgia or where are you?
I'm not. I wouldn't want to speak on that as well.
Are you with other roommates? Are you free to go from where you are?
No, I want to speak on that as well.
Now, he asked her if she was free to go, and she couldn't say that she was free to go wherever she wanted to go. Now, why does that need? I can understand when he asked, okay, well, where are you located now? Where are you staying? I can understand her not wanting to reveal that because, again, R. Kelly is a celebrity. So if she's staying with him, you know, most celebrities, most people who are, you know, out in the public eye, they don't want a bunch of fans knowing where they stay. And it has nothing to do with whether or not R. Kelly's going to get hate mail or whatever. I mean, that's just anybody. That means you just don't want people to know where you stay, a bunch of people to know where you stay. And people are very cautious about giving out their addresses. So I can understand her not wanting to reveal that. Myself included, I'm not even a celebrity and I do not give out my address. I tell you the city, maybe the county, but you're not going to get my address at all. So I get that part. But when he asked her, are you being held hostage and can you go on your own? Like, can you go? And she said, no, I'm not going to answer that. Why not? Either you can or you can't. So for me, I'm going to have to say, for me, that was that's what makes me think she's been coached. So she can't answer nothing. And it also makes me think that something ain't right. So I'm going to go ahead and play the next video. Now, this next video is the Savages, and that is their last name. I'm not calling them Savages. That is their last name. The mother and the father, the sister, and then another young lady. You guys are going to hear her. But these are the Savages. These are the parents of Jocelyn Savage, the lady who they are saying R. Kelly is holding captive along with other women in his home as sex slaves in a cult. So this is the Savage family. That is their last name, and I am going to play the video now.
Today, for months in, years in, until he released these girls and put them back where they belong. My daughter was off in college at the time.
This is Daddy Savage. I don't know his first name. His name is Timothy Savage. This is Timothy Savage talking now.
I haven't seen her since. I want to thank y'all for coming out, and I'm going to let someone else speak. I'm going to let my wife speak, and then I'm also going to let Shantae speak if she wants to.
Can you tell us your name first?
My name is Timothy Savage.
Tim, before you leave the microphone, though, can we ask you, it's a pretty serious charge to say that your daughter's being held against her will. How old is she, and what evidence do you have she's being held against her will?
My daughter is Right now, she's 21 at this time. I'm going to ask some questions after this. So if you can hold your questions, I'm going to ask a couple questions for people. So allow my family and friends to speak and guests to speak so we can have that honor to share and put this out here, okay? Thank you. This is my wife, Jonjelyn Savage.
I'm Jonjelyn. It's spelled Jonjelyn. The house that we're standing in front of today is the first time I've been at this location. But through the sources of Cheryl Mack, which was his assistant, that gave me information about the guest house. Also, I have pictures of where the house was, inside this house where he resided, where he had rooms set up for like a hotel for the girls to stay in. And he also had a black room where they do different acts, sexual acts in, and then he had the separate rooms, 3 separate rooms, total 4 rooms in this house, which they have it all identical set up. My daughter's severely brainwashed. She's brainwashed to the point where she says anything that he asks her to say. She's not the same Joycelyn that we knew when we met. I've reached out to Diane Copeland and Alicia Evans, which are the madams that watches over the girls, and they would not give me any information about my daughter. So we just want him to release her and let her go on with her life, because he's affected too many young girls over the years.
Now, I want to stop right there. You see what the mom just said. She said, because he has affected so many girls over the years. Because he has affected so many girls over the years. So that tells you right there that they knew what R. Kelly was about. They heard, seen all of the allegations made against him and the whole court thing that he had to go through. They knew. They knew. Now they're going to have to hold some of that responsibility. Is it right that what they're alleging R. Kelly of, is it right that if that is true, is that right? Absolutely not. It's sick. Do I believe it? I absolutely do. Do I believe it all? I don't know. I got to see more details, but I definitely believe that R. Kelly is a sick man who has a thing for young girls. I believe that. I sure do. I believe that without doubt. And a sad thing about it is you got literally that I've seen thousands. You can find videos, YouTube, Facebook, any social media of R. Kelly at concerts. He's selling out concerts. Nothing but women. Nothing but, I would say, from the way it looks at these concerts, I would say 95% black women at that. You know how sick you gotta be to support and go to a concert of a man who has been accused and in the court. He settled some cases out of court. He did win the court case. He was able to get off, but it was just too much. It was too much against him, in my opinion, because I was looking at the facts and at the young ladies that the man has that messed with in the past. But you got to be a sick person. You really, something ain't right with you. Something is not right with you. Now, I will say this. We are definitely in a different generation where, where a lot of these young girls, they probably don't know. Like this 21-year-old girl, she probably doesn't. I mean, I ain't going to say she probably doesn't know. But, I mean, if you don't do some research on R. Kelly, you just not going to know. Because, what happened, she was a little girl. She probably wasn't watching the news. So I mean, I will say that, but of course, I do know and think that she knew, and I think that when you have young girls, they are easy to manipulate, particularly if you are famous, you got money, you live in a nice area. I mean, they come from you know a the hood, possibly. I don't know where this. I mean, her mom and dad looks like, they are they're well put together people. So it looks like she didn't come from the hood. I don't know. I mean, not that that matters or anything in this particular case, because I mean, what they are alleging him of, Jesus Christ. But when you come from a certain area, you're looking at R. Kelly, what he's doing, how he's living. He's selling out shows. Now, believe it or not, he's selling out shows, people. This man is selling out shows. Shows full of black women. He was in my city not too long ago, and it was sold out. Of course, I did not go. I did not go. And, when I was younger, I remember being extremely young and really loving R. Kelly. At the time, this was before the allegations. This was before he was brought up on charges of rape and all of that. This was before then, and I was a big R. Kelly fan. And after that happened, I didn't really know what to believe, so I just kind of was like, nah, I'm good. I didn't really say anything bad about him or against him, because again, when that happened, I was young. And I really didn't know, it was so much, did he do it, did he not? And I didn't really know. But as I got older and the allegations began to come and different people would come out, it's like, nah, this dude did that. He did it. Absolutely. And I never seen any of those videos that leaked out where so apparently he, was seen peeing on people and doing all kinds of just nasty, vile, sexual things. The man needs help. Really. He needs more than some help, but I'm not going to say that on here because I don't.
And I just wanted her home and to try to get her rehabilitated to the Joycelyn that we know and miss.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please give us your name, please.
My name is Asante McGee, Asante. I had an encounter with R. Kelly, and I lived with him at another location that's not far from here. I've participated and witnessed a lot of acts that I did not agree with, and the way he manipulates each and every woman that comes around. I'm blessed to have a strong will mind, and the things that I've witnessed. I have a 17-year-old daughter myself, and I always thought this could be my daughter. I've been reading the blogs. Everybody's saying that, oh, we're lying. R. Kelly's not this monster. He's not that person. I've always been a fan of R. Kelly from day one. I was always defending him until I got behind closed doors. I've reached out to the Savages as well as Isabel Clary parents because I saw both of their daughters and I did not like what I was seeing. Again, I felt like if this was...
So it sounds like this young lady was at once upon a time recently was stayed with R. Kelly. Now I'm gonna tell you, she said she had a 17-year-old daughter. She looks extremely young. So, I mean, she looks young, and we know R. Kelly likes them young. And she said that she stayed in the home with these girls, and she was the one who reached out to the parents about these girls. So she's been staying in his home recently. So my mind is, where was the child? Where was her child? Was the child? I mean, does R. Kelly let these girls bring their kids in with them, or how does that work? Or do you just get to go drop your kid off at mama and auntie house and go do your thing, and then when you get tired or he didn't ran through and did whatever he do, because you know R. Kelly nasty as hell. You know he running through these chicks. He is running through these girls all the way through. And now that she's out, she didn't reach out to them. Now, this is what this sounds like. Again, these are my thoughts. This is my perspective. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. So I just wanted to kind of chime in on that, because I find it, you know, I would like to know how old this young lady is. And you know, like she said, she has a 17-year-old daughter. So it's just like, how old was she when she got, it's so much. Let me keep playing.
Daughter. If this was my daughter doing this, I would want somebody to come out to me and help me. So I've been with them and just giving them as much information that I've seen, just living in the house with them. And it just took a whole bunch of encounters that finally I got the willpower to just walk away. So I've been gone since last summer, but I stayed in contact with them after I left and gave them as much updates that I could give them as far as the conditions that's treated, where you have to ask to be, you know, take a bath, permission to shower, to eat, permission to go from one room to the next. He really manipulates your mind because of who he is and his fame. So if it wasn't because of his fame and you're happy because you're with R. Kelly, he wouldn't get away with doing the things they want. So as far as these girls, I feel like they've been in so long that they will need help because of.
Now I want to say this. My heart does go out to these girls. It really does. Because obviously R. Kelly got them at very young ages. Girls can be manipulated. Young girls, 19, 20, 21, 22. I mean, a woman can be manipulated, not just a girl, a woman. So I do, my heart does go out to these girls, and you know, who have been victimized by R. Kelly. And she is correct. These girls will need some severe and intense counseling and therapy to get it back together. Now, it's sad that this man has been doing this for years, you guys. I read an article where it was a young lady who came out and said R. Kelly used to come up to their middle school and hang out. This is before he was R. Kelly and he was blowing up, but he hadn't really blew. This was before I Believe I Can Fly. You know, I Believe I Can Fly is his biggest record, one of his biggest crossover records ever. And I mean, it's just a banging, you know, song. So this was before then. And he would go up to the middle schools and hang out. And that's where she says she met him. She was a middle schooler. Now, she did say that the sex did start off right away. It came, you know, a little bit later because he was traveling and blah, 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 blah. But then at one point, I guess she had gotten a certain age or whatever, and, you know, whatever. So this man has been doing this for years, and you know, we got to take this L as a community. We have to, because we let this man off. He got away with all the stuff that he's done over the years. And when I say me, I mean, when I say we, I mean us as a Black community. Because the Black community was kind of divided. You had a whole bunch of people saying, no, he didn't do it, I don't believe it. And then you had a whole bunch of people that said that he did do it and that they did believe it. And I find, just from reading comments, just from reading articles and looking at the comments under the articles, you got women out here talking about he didn't do it. You got men out here talking about he did do it. And it's like, what the hell? You would think the roles would be switched. You would think that the men would be like, no, he didn't do it. And the women would be like, yes, he did. Because you would think that the woman could have more compassion and feel, you know, really feel these young ladies. And it's just sad. It's sad, but this is a L that we have to take as a Black community because we allowed this monster, and yes, I'm calling him a monster because I believe he is. I absolutely do. I absolutely do. And that's without even knowing whether or not these allegations are true. That's without even knowing that. So we definitely got to take this L. I'm going to go ahead and finish out this video.
That he puts in your head and make you believe everybody's against you.
Was this house here?
No, I've never. This is my first time being at this house. I was always at the main location. And I really don't know the address offhand, but it's another location that's not far from this home.
How long did you know Kelly?
3 years.
3 years?
Yes.
How'd you meet him?
We're gonna step in for a minute. Yes. I want to answer the majority of the questions. Some of these questions will be answered at a later date. We will give another interview. I will answer a couple questions if you have questions. So I want to take your question first. What question do you have, and what would you like for me to answer?
You already answered how old your daughter is. She's 21, so she is of age. Again, the charge you make is that she's being held against her will. What evidence of that do you have, other than perhaps some of the conversations you had where she sounded the law?
Well, if you have cultured and looked at where it's Stockholm Syndrome, that's what my daughter has right now. And so those are the...
So let me, for some of you guys that don't know what the Stockholm Syndrome is and what he's referring to, so when people are like kidnapped, when people are raped, and they still have some type of love affection towards their, towards the person who did that to them or the person who mistreated them, they call it Stockholm Syndrome. So, and it is an actual syndrome. And so, yeah, that's all it is. So that's what he's talking about. And I even have my doubts about that, because if she volunteered to go see R. Kelly and be with him, then she wasn't kidnapped, she wasn't taken. But it's like once she got there, he's been, spitting game or whatever to her. And so she just doesn't see anything wrong with being with him and with being cut off from her family and having to ask to go to the bathroom and blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, I would not necessarily say it's Stockholm, but again, I don't really know all the details. Doesn't sound like it is. I think that's just kind of a better way to explain why the daughter is there and hasn't left.
That's going to come to play, and we're going to share all these things at a later date. Can I have another question?
You're making some pretty serious accusations, though, and it doesn't appear that you have strong evidence to back them up. What evidence do you have?
That evidence is going to appear within the next 2 to 3 days. It will appear on another time set. This is just to actually come out and introduce the people who are making these accusations. We're going to actually bring that to the forefront within the next 2 to 5 days. I promise you that.
Are you filing a suit?
Another conversation. No, give me one more. One more.
Are you working with authorities?
Yes, I am working with authorities.
What agency?
We're working with the FBI, and we're also working with the sheriff here in Johns Creek Police Department. And that's it, guys. We'll talk to you guys later. Hold up. My daughter want to say something.
I just want to say.
What's your name? I'm sorry.
My name's Jalen. I go by Jai. I just want to say, Joycelyn, I love you so much. What R. Kelly has done to you, nobody, I don't mean nobody needs to go through what you've been through and what them other girls been through. I love my sister so much, and I just want to see her how she used to be. When Joycelyn left to go to college, everything changed after that. Everything. And it's all because of this monster, R. Kelly.
He needs to get what he deserves, for real. Like, everybody knows that he is a pedophile, a rapist, everything.
That's it. That's it, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so that was the youngest daughter speaking. And you know, she appeared to be really hurt and bothered by it. The whole family did. And again, I'm not saying that I don't believe this family. I'm not even saying that it's all their fault. But what I am saying and what I am pointing out is that you didn't see that coming? Really? And when I think about this, I kind of think of like the whole thing that happened with Michael Jackson. Of course, I don't believe none of that stuff that they said about Michael Jackson. But just say that, you know, it was true and you had people sending their kids over there. It's like, okay, so the whole world knew about what went down with Michael Jackson, and then another kid gets sent over there and then another one. Like, come on, really? Come on, really? So this is kind of reminds me that it's like everybody knew about R. Kelly, but yet you still sending your kids and encouraging and influencing and, you know, whatever, thinking that your kids are going to be good in his hands or around him. It makes no sense. And they got to hold some of that responsibility. And one of the things that I dislike is that when we do something individually, and we know what we did. We know we didn't make the best decision. We know we didn't make the right decision. We know we messed up. We don't take our part of the responsibility. That's a problem. That's a problem. And we got to look at this situation as well as others and really, really get a good concept and understand what is going on here. You cannot send your kid. If you know your brother, your uncle, your pawpaw, whoever has been convicted of rape and have raped a family member, have done something like that to a family member, you are a damn fool if you send your kids around that person thinking that your kids is going to be okay and that it won't happen to your kids. You are a fool. And you got to take some of that responsibility. Come on now, people. Come on now. Come on. So I had to come on and do this video, guys. I absolutely had to. I could not leave without doing it. And so, you know, I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. It was a short video. And again, this was like breaking news. And I had to just go in on this video because this was a topic that bothered me and that needed to be spoken about amongst us. So again, I'm going to ask you guys to hit the subscribe button. Please hit the subscribe button and go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Also, I am on all social medias. I am on Instagram at @1code_black. That's the number 1. The word code, CODE_black, BLAQUE. Facebook, I am Code Black. And Twitter, it's Nikil Young Love, and that is all one word. NIKIL Young YOUNG Love LOVE. That's all one word. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye.